Here we go. MLK Matinee Edition of KnicksFanTV Live, presented by Prizepicks. Knicks Postgame Live, presented by Prizepicks. Knicks taking on the Hornets on the matinee special, the MLK special. And they got absolutely smoked, man. No LaMelo Ball, no problem, because Miles Bridges and company made quick work out of the Knicks. Bridges had over 20 points in the first half, finished with 38 on the night, and the Knicks offense just had nothing going all night, man. Defensively had nothing going, but offensively just had nothing going. They would go on to lose 97-87, but this thing wasn't even close. In the heat of the game, the Knicks could only muster up roughly 75 points or so, man. So just one of those nights, an absolute clunker by the Knicks. Back to 500. 97-87, Knicks go down. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. CP the Franchise, JD Sports Talk here. Knicks post-game live. Ah, man, oh man. Just as we start speaking so highly of these Knicks last night on Knicks Weekly, this was the game, JD, that I felt was gonna be the toughest, or one of the toughest of the four, for many reasons. Number one, as I said going last night, this Charlotte team was coming in hot. They won 2 games against the Bucks. They won a game against Philly. They were looking good, feeling good. Then they had a letdown game against the Magic. The coach calls them out, takes them to task, and says, you can't just show up to a game and think you're gonna win. So I expected them to bring their A game today, especially out of the jump, and they did just that, man. They were crisp on both ends of the floor, and the Knicks really could not match their energy on either side. You have a team that's very opportunistic, top 5 in the NBA in opponents' turnovers per game. Knicks have 15 turnovers, led to 14 Charlotte points. Got to take care of the rock. You got to take care of the rock. Free throws, even though this game was, pretty much a blowout. I mean, Charlotte was up by as much as 23 in this game. Making your free throws may give you a puncher's chance. Knicks shoot 52% from the charity stripe, 11 for 21 from the stripe. Again, that's just not going to get it done. As a collective, you guys have got to make your free throws. And then, the hot hand coming into this game obviously was R.J. Barrett. He was our KFTV Weekly Player of the Week. Started the first half hot. I thought R.J. had it going in the first half, but, was once again looking good, attacking on his drives. But, how do you stop a player like that who has been driving and executing so well? You put him in a zone. And in that second half, that Charlotte zone really hurt us and really had us stuck in the mud. Knicks just could not execute within that Charlotte zone, and I thought that was one of the biggest differences in this game, man. What were some of your takeaways?
Well, yeah, as you mentioned last night on the Knicks Weekly show, and if you missed it, make sure you tune in. It was definitely it
was a good one, nevertheless, bro. It was a good show, nevertheless.
It was a good show, nevertheless. You have timestamps there, so there's some interesting topics. Yep. So if you missed it, make sure you tune in to that show. You had talked about that, under your prediction that this could be the loss. And, after the show, after I was doing some research, I said, yeah, CP may be right because, they're second in the league in scoring defense at 115. They're third in the league in three-point percentage at 37%. Today, they shot 36%. They get up a lot of shots. They're third in the league in field goal attempts per game. And, and they're third in assists, with being LaMelo being a big part of that. And I don't even know what to make of this game, CP, because, sometimes, LaMelo is a late scratch. And I wonder if the Knicks came in with a certain game plan around LaMelo. You have to game plan against a player of that. He's had an outstanding year. He's making a case for an all-star bid. Mm-hmm. And him being a late scratch, the team looked like they had no idea how to adjust. Yeah. You watched it on the telecast. You saw Mike Breen say it plenty of times in terms of the Knicks, giving these shooters too much space. And I didn't understand that. They're third in the league in three-point percentage.
Right.
And our defense was to give them a little bit of space, as if we were trying to prevent them from getting to the basket.
Yeah.
And I thought that was not a good adjustment by the coach. The whole team, they weren't ready to play. I thought they would be. And to me, that's an all-around dud from the team, from the players, and the coaching staff. This is an all-around, just an all-around bad game. Yeah. And listen, you had 12 points from your backcourt between Burks and Fournier. You can't have that against a team that scores this many points. Now, it's strange because they still only scored 97 points. So you were able to keep them under 100 points. However, in the first half, that was the game. When you have a guy like Miles Bridges go off like that, sometimes it zaps your energy, and it makes the task to score points makes it that much greater, because when you feel that you can't stop a player on the other end, sometimes it affects you on the other side of the court. So I didn't like Randall's effort tonight. Yeah, did not like it at all. I thought he
settled too much. Settled too much.
To be honest, CP, it wasn't even about the offense. To me, sometimes you get to a point where you just have to take a little bit of pride, man. Like, if a guy is coming at you like that, and I get it, if it's LeBron, if it's KD, there's, you have certain tiers of players where players always say you try to make it as tough as you can, but if they go off, it is what it is. That's why they're great players. Miles Bridges is an ascending player. Wouldn't call him a great player yet.
Right.
To me, when you have a player go off like that, you know what? You can just go to RJ, go to the team, you're like, you know what? Tonight, it's not gonna be my night on offense. I gotta play defense.
True.
And I just didn't like the energy from Randall on that side of the court. He just seemed content with just playing okay, and you saw the result of that.
Yeah, good point. Good point. And, another reason I didn't like this matchup was the wing matchup, because tonight was a night where, we talk about the lack of wing depth and not having the athleticism, not having the foot speed, and then you're going to go up against a guy like a Miles Bridges who, you're looking at a Fournier, you're toast. You know what I'm saying? You're absolutely toast. And even Randall to a certain extent. And this is a night where you hope an acquisition of a Reddish could maybe be a difference maker in trying to keep up and slow some of these guys down. Tonight is a night where, like I say, no matter what moves the Knicks make between now and the deadline, this is a game where Cam Reddish could log a lot of minutes, man, because Fournier was just not getting it done for you on either side of the basketball, but especially on the defensive end. He was getting cooked, absolutely cooked.
See, this is the other side of Fournier. This is the other side of it in terms of, what are you getting when he's not hitting the shot? What else are you getting on the floor? And he doesn't bring much else. And that's why, to me, I understand he's had a good amount of recent games. I don't see the fit. And here's the other thing, CP. How about this observation? As you're watching the game, have you ever seen like the difference in speed between those two teams?
Yeah.
Man, like the Charlotte Hornets looked like they were 2, 3, 4 levels of speed ahead of us. And this is the other side of when I was talking about before. And I said, right, like when you start to, play some of these other talented teams, the negative of having a Randall with a RJ, with a Mitch, with a Fournier, with a Burks, speed. You don't have speed. You don't have the most athleticism. When you play some of these young talented teams, they're trying to run you out the gym. You see out there, once you're a step behind, everybody's a step behind. Yeah. And so I'm hoping that the Cam Reddish acquisition can help in that department once you're playing some of these athletic wings, these athletic fours. And, you just hope that Reddish is a big part of the equation, because I see Fournier's minutes being impacted. And so right now, you got to take, what he can give you and hope that he hits shots. Like with Fournier, that's the deal. You just have to hope that he gets you shots. It kind of cancels out his defense. And with Burks, you know what you're going to get from Burks. You're going to get some good nights.
Yeah.
You're going to get some bad nights.
Tonight wasn't a good one, man. Tonight was absolute dud by Burks. 1 for 4 from the field. Tonight wasn't a good Burks night. No question.
It's a 1:00 game too, CP. I don't want to make any excuse, but traditionally the Knicks, these 1:00 games, I know they were ready against the Hawks on Christmas, but sometimes these early games, and there was, you have to play a 1:00 game against a young spry team with LaMelo scratched late, which I think that really affected their game plan. And if he was a very late scratch, not like we found out yesterday or this morning, it was like right before the game. So you put all that together, and then Miles, who's had success against Randall, this is what just wasn't a one-game thing.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to the previous game.
Yeah, the game in Charlotte. The game in Charlotte took it to him.
So to me, this was actually a very bad matchup at the worst possible time, considering all the circumstances.
No question about it, man. No question about it. Like I said, you had to start with the energy, man. You knew this team was going to come in and play hard from the jump. The coach called them out. They had just had the letdown game against the Magic. You've got to match their energy to start this game, and they just were nowhere there, man. They were nowhere near it. They came in on that matinee energy, and Charlotte came in on that 7:30 energy, man. They were ready to go. Well-oiled machine. Give credit to them. You know, they earned it, and they took our lunch today. Shout out to Emil Beaumontsor, $10 Australian Super Chat. Says, woke up at 5 a.m. for this one. A lot of things you can blame. Mental toughness with some bad calls, bad boxing out, sloppy rebounding. I think this game was there for the taking. Yeah, man. I think, there was some questionable calls by the refs, but I think at that point, the Knicks had no answer for Charlotte all night. You know, we couldn't get a stop, period, on the defensive end. So I can't look to the refs to throw us a blind when our effort, we just weren't crisp in terms of executing on the defensive end. Positives, we talked about RJ's first half. I thought, he was certainly executing well off of his drives, 18 points, 11 boards for RJ, 5 dimes. I thought that, he was, even though they were trying to cut him off, with that zone, I thought he was still probing well and passing. I thought he was patient, in terms of just trying to play make out of that zone. There's a lot of guys just couldn't knock down shots for him, man, but still finished with 5 dimes, 12 boards for RJ, 7 of 18 from the field. My prize picks lock of the night, JD, got not destroyed, but I didn't hit it. RJ over 2.5 free throws. I was riding that one hot. Only had 2. I needed 3 to get that check on the ticket, but only had 2 in this game, bro.
Listen, I guess on overall, you could look at RJ's game. You lost, right? So, I guess you can put it on the subpar department. He didn't have the greatest of games, but this is the other side to it is, when you can score, when you can put up 18 and 11 with 5 assists, and that's considered a bad game, you start to see the actual potential of what he can bring to the table as he's developing. Where now, before we were craving for an 18, 11, and 5 game, and now we get it. And yet, he goes 7 of 18. He had these, he had 6 turnovers. So now it's like, okay, that was a bad game for you. But still, when we look long-term for RJ, to me, you can still build off that because you can learn from it. And it's not an RJ of the past where he's completely zero. When we've had RJ have bad games, it's bad games. Like he's scoring 9 points, 10 points. He's not rebounding. He's not giving you anything else. Now, even in a subpar game, he still contributed to the box score. And so hopefully he can build off that. The 6 turnovers, this is part of, to me, of the development of him getting that usage, him being that playmaker, him being in that position. So, good thing about these situations is you're right back at it tomorrow. And I know the Knicks will be looking forward to playing the Timberwolves tomorrow and hopefully get back on the right track.
100%. Robert Sanders, $10 Super Chat, says Cam is the future wing. Let the kids play. Ev should lose minutes and have a quick hook till some team has interest in a trade. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think Cam's minutes will come as a result of 48's inconsistent play. Again, we'll see how it works out, but I think Cam will be all right. On the positives, and we're gonna get to the phones in a little bit. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Knicks postgame live presented by Prizepicks. Matinee edition. I always like the matinee editions. Get in early, get out early. We got people from all around the world that can watch in a timely fashion. So shout out to our guys from across the pond checking in as well. Couple positives. Mitch, I thought Blockness was pretty good. I thought he was active, especially in the first half. 10.6 rebounds. I thought he was very aggressive, trying to battle Plumlee on the boards there. Obviously, Charlotte still had their way in the paint. But overall, I liked Mitch's effort here. And then Obi. How about Obi? Comes in the game, chip on his shoulder, because Thibs had got on him on that after that Hawks game. Comes and chip on his shoulder, 7 quick points, and then he didn't see him again until trash time. Talk about Mitch. Talk about Obi, man.
Let me start with Mitch. Mitch, I think he did the best he could. Everybody else was a step slow.
Right.
How many times did you see him covering a mistake from a perimeter player, and then you had Charlotte Hornet with a putback or easy chance at the rim because he had to come out and cover so many players that were a step slow. Mm-hmm. So I think that played the part, as well as them shooting well, played the part in him only having 6 rebounds. He was away from the basket a lot, having to cover for a lot of mistakes. How about that move, CP? Maybe he's watching KnicksFanTV.
Ooh, the crossover was filled. We talked about it last night. I told you, pay that man, give that man his bread. What did he do? He hit Plumlee with the crossover and the slam, and then on the other end gets a block on the other end. Come on, man. Pay the man. Give the man his money. Mitch, please, a block nest monster. Let's go.
I'm telling you, come on, man. This guy's on social media. He's hearing the Miles Turner comparisons.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, okay, maybe I can't hit a 3, but can Miles Turner do this? So
he wants that Time Lord money, man. He wants that Time Lord money, bro. He wants that Robert Williams contract, bro.
I'm liking the consistency. I think this is like about 5 games straight now with like double-digit points, 10 points or more. So that that's a little positive there. Getting some confidence up, being engaged. Mitch, although Mitch understands he doesn't have the most versatile offensive game, these big men, the DeAndre Jordans, these Clint Capellas, they still want to get involved, get some points, score double digits, and that usually, raises their energy on the other end of the court. So that's a positive. On the Obi, CP, trade Obi tomorrow. Trade him tomorrow. Trade him tomorrow. What are we doing? What are we doing here? To me, I feel like nobody knows what is the Obi plan. I feel like nobody what is the plan? How can you, first of all, the Charlotte Hornets are running an 8-man rotation. I've looked at their past 5-10 games. They're running an 8-man rotation. Miles Plumlee is their only center. He's 6'11". Then you have Jalen McDaniels, who's 6'9", 200 pounds. You have PJ Washington, who's 6'7", around 220, 230. I thought this was a prime matchup for him. He's fast. He's on their level in terms of athleticism and speed. And because the Hornets don't have a rim protector, they don't have an already strong big man, I thought this was a very good matchup for him. And you saw it early. Him taking it to the basket. He was confident. He hit a 3. I mean, you come in, you bring him in for 5 minutes. He goes 3 or 4. He hits a 3. When you have a game that you're down double digits, and you have a player come in and he does something that hasn't been a strength, that's a confidence booster right there. You continue to play that. You don't know if he would have been hot tonight from 3, but how is he supposed to get in a rhythm if he plays 5 minutes and then you bench him because he missed 2 free throws? Like, was it because he missed 2 free throws, or was it because you thought it was enough? 5 minutes, that was good enough, and let's bring Randall back in. For what?
You didn't see him again until garbage time.
Yeah, so don't tell me JD cooked. He played 16 minutes. No, the 12 minutes in the fourth quarter. Yeah. He only played. First of all, he came in at the beginning of the fourth because that's the way that he was going to be played. Right? He didn't play the third, and then after that, once he was in the fourth, you might as well leave him because the game was never within reach. So take away those 12 minutes. He played 4 minutes and 47 seconds. I'm not even rounding it off. He didn't even play 5 minutes. I mean, what are we doing? And I understand if you want to you want to bring the argument of what he's done before. My argument is not, yes, he's been struggling. Yes, he looks a little lost. But that's not today. Today he came in, and in those 5 minutes, he did not look lost. In those 5 minutes, he was not unproductive.
He was on point.
So you play it game to game. In today's game, this team was not ready to play. There's no excuse on why you have to bring Randall back. For what? It wasn't bringing you anything on the other end of the court. Nothing. So to me, if this is how you're going to manage your lottery pick in year 2, we're not talking about a 20-year-old or a 19-year-old that you can say, JD, just be patient. No. This is not a 19, 20-year-old. This is a college player of the year in year 2, and we're in the second half of the season now, and he plays 5 minutes. He gives you good minutes, and you still bench him. So what is the plan? If this is how it's going to be, just get rid of him by the trade deadline.
Yeah, it's a waste.
Because it's not trending the right. You think he was frustrated out there. You think he's not going to go this offseason? If we keep him this offseason with Cam coming in, I'm telling you, his agent is going to talk to the Knicks. They're going to say, get me out of here.
Trade, bro. He's most likely going to explore a trade. But it
was
a waste.
Why are we doing that to him?
It was a complete waste. I've been saying it since last year. If they didn't plan to trade Randall, the Obi pick was a waste. And yeah, this is never going to end well or end up in a good situation, because Thibs is clearly telling you that even against one of the smallest teams in the league, that he refuses to play them together for meaningful minutes. It's no excuse, because I was happy to see Obi come in. He played with a chip on his shoulder, man. Came in, hit a 3, came in, attacked the rim, had a nice. He's always finishing well at the rim. Had a nice little scoop layup, and then you didn't see him again.
And I don't want to hear the fact that, Miles Bridges, he's a defensive concern. He was cooking everybody.
He's cooking everybody, man.
Who cares? The fact of the matter is, this was a good matchup for him.
Yeah.
And it was a good opportunity for him to play against a team that has nobody in the paint. They're one of the worst defenses in the league. They're one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. And as you saw early, he got it going.
Yeah.
He felt confident. And even so, there was many more opportunities where we didn't even, you saw him have his hand up. He was cut into the basket. Quickly missed him. Burks missed him. Even RJ missed him once. And it's like, at this point, man, if this is not the environment for him and you're not going to maximize what you can out of him, then
it was a bad pick, bro.
Figure out the solution and figure it out quick, because it's becoming it's really annoying to me right now at this point. It just makes no sense.
It was a bad pick, man. There's just no way around it. If keeping Randall and drafting Obi, it was a bad move. It was a bad pick. To the Discord we go. King Deej, go ahead, man.
Yo, thanks, bro, because I got stuff to do today. First off, happy
you gotta wait, man. This ain't the King D show. We ain't on your time. You on our time, man.
You're right. Absolutely.
Don't let me hold you up, buddy.
And you've been closing. We got you up first today, too.
You've been closing.
Listen, I appreciate that. This is a show for the fans, by the fans, right?
Yeah.
Right? That's the slogan, right?
Yeah. Let's go.
All right. So listen. It's one game, all right?
Mm-hmm.
It's one game. Everybody calm down. But what did I say last night when we were talking about Knicks Weekly? If I gotta sacrifice Obi and Burks, if there was and Noel and Kemba, the people that don't play, that don't contribute at a bird's eye view for a point guard, then I'm doing it. And this game, even though it's one game, guys, calm down. This was a bad matchup. LaMelo was at the club in New York last night. That's why he ain't play. But the Hornets and the Miami Heat are two teams on the Eastern Conference that play the most zones out of the whole NBA. That's a fact.
Yeah.
They're a top. I've been saying when we was all worried about that pick, they're a top 3 offense. I keep telling y'all that. And listen, when a team plays a zone, the zone is two things: to stop people from attacking, and to make people take tough shots. Randall, tough shots today. Tough shots. He's not going to make it. They can live with that. And the fact is, we don't have a point guard. I keep telling y'all that. If I got to sacrifice Obi, Burks, Kemba, Noel, to get any of these point guards that's rumored, any of them, just so I could get Cam in here, so I could get the point guard in here. And we already got the replacement as the backup 4. He's in a G League. He's Luka. He plays 10 times better with whatever core this is than Obi would. That's a fact. I'm being real. I'm being realistic.
Yeah. We
gotta be real, bro. We need a point guard. We keep on saying no to all these point guards. We said no to Lonzo, no to Spencer. And then we turned it down. We say no to CP3. We say no to Ben, Dame, Fox, everybody. And then the next 2 years, these draft classes, we got no bread. We got to sign and trade just to get Brunson up in here. The following year, you guys want Westbrook? You want John Wall? You want Jordan Clarkson? I can keep going. You gotta get a point guard eventually. I'm just saying that's why we lost today. I expect them to play much better because the Timberwolves tomorrow, they don't play zone, not a good defense. So it goes back to normal. But if you want to, if this team is where they're at right now, playing, today was the play-in game. If you want to make it to the playoffs, you got to beat Charlotte for that 7 or 8, and they ain't gonna do it. So I'm letting everybody, I'm letting y'all know, get the boarding passes ready for the 4 people I keep telling y'all for. Peace and love. I'm out.
King Deej out of here. All right, so to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Yeah, and shout out to Schwinny, man. Schwinny on Twitter says probably wouldn't have won this game anyway, but you know, you got Plumlee at the 5. They're going small with Bridges, straight athlete up, and you're not playing one of your better athletes on the team. It just seems counterproductive for me, man. Especially when he came in and was trending well, you know, and one of the better plays on the team today.
And listen, it's one game. I'm trying to stay poised and composed. It's one game, but my concern when it comes down to it is, can Thibs be flexible in the moment, in the heat of the moment? Is he willing, just like Sweeney said right there in that tweet, right? Let's say this is a playing game, but this is a playoffs, and you have to, you know, kind of switch it up a little bit. You have to make a certain adjustment, a certain substitution, a certain strategy change. Will he be flexible to do that, or does he stick with the status quo template style of, you know, managing the game? That's my concern, because
I don't see it, bro.
You see it around the league. Some of these other coaches, man, if something's not working, they're going to something else. They're not worried about, you know, people's personalities and minutes and stuff. Like, yo, this is not working, we're going to this, we're going small, we're going, you know, we're going big, we're doing this, we're doing that. And like I said, it's just one game, but the habit has remained consistent. And tonight would have been a great opportunity to see, maybe Obi would have helped raise Randall's energy by playing next to him. You don't know that if you don't try it. And it doesn't mean that, you know, Obi doesn't go back. Maybe the next game tomorrow, Obi's back to his 10 minutes. But tonight wasn't that. Tonight was an opportunity to you know, be flexible, mix it up, and give him a little bit more of an opportunity than you gave him tonight.
I just don't see it, man. Because you know, Charlotte's not the only team that plays small. We've seen it numerous times this year where you're wondering, you see an opportunity, you see a window for Obi to get more minutes, and it's just not there for him, man. Just not there for him. So unfortunate, but
CP, if the guy 5 minutes, 5 minutes, and he plays well in 5 minutes, if you can't even get an opportunity in 5 minutes and you play well, then you have no shot here. You figure it out and just move on then.
Shout out to Isaiah Schulterbrandt, sends a $5 super chat. He says King Deej must be sponsored by Thibs because he's hating on Obi a little too much. No, I don't think he's hating. I think, you know, I've been saying it as well. I think Obi has to be a piece that you use to get another player in here. Because he right now, he's not helping us win games. Right now, he's not being used to help us win games. So you may have to look to package him and bring in a player who can, because the pick was a waste. You picked Obi, right? The rumors were that they were looking to trade Randall. They picked Obi knowing that they still needed help at the guard position and they still needed a wing. You passed on Halliburton, you passed on Vassell, among others, to bring Obi here. And now you have him buried behind the bench. So something has to give. We have other needs. So I think that's what King Deej is saying. I don't think it's necessarily hating per se. I just think, you know, he's using that Obi as an asset.
Right. And I have questions about Obi as a player. So don't, you know, this is not to say that I think Obi can be a star or anything. I'm just saying you manage it on a game-to-game basis. And tonight he had a good start. And so you forget about your questions for him as a player. You forget about that you don't think he's it right now. Fine. That's another game. That's another conversation for another day. But specifically for today's game, he could have been an important piece for you to get back into the game. We never found out because he never got that opportunity.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Back to the Discord we go. Julito up next. Julito, let's go.
Yo, what's good, man?
How you feeling,
what's
bro?
good, JD, my guy? Good to hear from you. Been a minute. CP, man. Today was probably the first real must-win game of the season, right? When you look at the standings, when you look at who the Wizards play, who is right ahead of us, when you look at who they play coming up, this was an opportunity for us really to and with LaMelo being out and Kelly Oubre being out, this was an opportunity for us to take a jump in the standings, and we shot the bed, man. You know, I'm almost there, man. I'm almost there. I'm almost at the sell high on Obi thing. I'm not there just yet, but I'm almost there, right? When you look at it, there's nothing Obi Toppin can do to get minutes on his team, right? When he's playing well and Julius is playing bad, and on top of playing bad, getting cooked, he still doesn't get minutes.
Yeah.
When Julius Randle is out for health and safety protocol, I think it was one game where he cracked the 30-minute mark, and other than that, he still wasn't being used significantly. I think you just hit the nail on the head, man. We have other needs, and you know, it's glaringly missing. I think today was the first game that it was like truly glaringly missing, that we lost because we didn't have a point guard, right? They're still running zones on us like this is AAU basketball, man. Like this is high school. It's embarrassing. And I'm not gonna be super up and super down with each game. We're an average team. We're gonna win and we're gonna lose. That's just the nature of the game. We're gonna win and we're gonna lose. I just think that we need to sell high on Obi. I'm almost there. It's almost time to sell high on Obi. I don't know who that guy is because I'm not for the Jalen Brunson trade. I just don't think he's the right person. I think we could wait it out. And at the same time, I think it's time to look at other options when it comes to Obi Toppin, because he's just not going to get the minutes. And now that we got Cam Reddish, I think Cam deserves. There's going to be a point where Cam deserves the minutes over Obi. And now if he's now playing behind Cam Reddish, it's going to look bad. So that's all I got to say, man. Thank you for, taking the call, and, we popping them off.
Yes, sir. Good points, man. Good points. Shout out to Julito. And Julito and CK will be hosting Knicks Postgame Live tomorrow. We will be at the Garden, myself, JD, Alex Rotaro, Stratocaster. So we will be at MSG. So we'll be streaming. We'll be doing 4 shows. We'll do the pregame show from Shoot Around. We'll do halftime. We'll do postgame from MSG. And then we'll do postgame live, taking your phone calls on everything. Knicks versus Timberwolves. And good call by Julito, man. It's the Obi thing's frustrating, but again, not surprising because we've been saying it since last year, man. This thing is just, with this coach, things are just not going to change, man.
And to Julito's point guard point, the thing about Brunson is he may be your only realistic option. When you look at, you going after Fox, that's a much larger trade. It's a complicated trade. You have less than a month now to the trade deadline. And so a lot of things have to fall into place. And because of the contract stuff, Obi's on a rookie deal and Fox is on a max contract. So now you're talking about adding other players, who that player is, maybe involving a third or maybe even a fourth team. So I don't know if that happens. If this is just to make the trade happen, how about, do you agree or disagree with bringing in that player? That's another conversation.
Yeah. So
it seems like in terms of the easiest trade to facilitate would be maybe a Monte Morris from the Denver Nuggets, a Jalen Brunson from the Dallas Mavericks. After that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who else you can go out there. To me, it's either Brunson or you go with a much larger trade for a bigger star.
And as we said after, I don't know if I forgot it was last night's show, the Hawks game, man, oh man, I'm just hoping and praying that Brogdon name comes up, because that would be the ideal pick for me,
and for Thibs.
Thibs
may never bench him if he comes here, because that's the Thibs-like player, big point guard, strong point guard, heady player, good in the locker room, plays defense, can hit the three. I mean, that's probably the guy that Thibs wants here. And Thibs, he likes the bigger guards to be able to switch. Brogdon will give you that opportunity. But again, you'll have to see how you can facilitate a trade, because Brogdon also has a decent sized contract.
Absolutely, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. But we do have a point guard on the team. His name is Kemba Walker. We just haven't seen him in a little bit. Here was Thibs on Kemba and when he might come back.
The big thing, regarding Kemba is, I want him to feel as good as possible, and a player like him in the situation that he's in, I want him to completely trust where he is with his body. So when he's ready, he's ready. He'll let us know. We trust him. He's pretty close. He's loading up pretty good. So when he's there, we'll know. He'll know, and that's probably the most important thing. I think as a pro athlete has to trust his body. Yeah, well, along with the medical people, he's loading up pretty good. What I don't want to get into a situation where it's on off. I want him to get to the point where he feels confident and he's in a good spot, a good place, and he can go.
Loading up pretty good. What does that mean?
Well, there's nothing that could replicate the intensity of a game. So, but when you have a period of time off and you're not doing anything, there has to be a gradual buildup to get you to where you can take the contact and be comfortable with it. And so that's where he is, and he's ramped up pretty good. He still hasn't probably taken enough contact yet, but once he gets to that point, then he'll be ready to go.
All right, JD. So Rebecca was like, well, "What the hell? What the hell is ramping up, loaded up, B?" Thibs says he wants to make sure that when Kemba comes back, he's ready to stay. But how do you know that? How do you know that when he comes back, he's going to be good to go for the rest of the season? I don't know, man.
I'm telling you, I don't know if they're. I mean, and he's been pretty close for like a week now.
Right.
So
9 straight games he's missed.
And I think that's what Rebecca kept following up, because trying to figure out, you keep saying that he's close. He's on the verge. He's on the verge. He's on the verge. Maybe, we heard reports before that today is probably the game he was going to be back. He's not back. And then now, he had an interesting comment where he said, I don't want it to be on and off. And this is what I said last night on the Knicks Weekly show. This is a situation with Kemba where, he's not going to play back-to-back. You tried it. It failed, right? He played that one back-to-back against the Pistons, and you had talked about there was no point of playing him that game. There was no point of playing him in that Pistons game, and we did. We played him 40 minutes a game for a 4-game stretch, and it's like it's just not going to work. So I don't know if they're doing this because they're working something else behind the scenes or what the deal is. But like I said on last night's show, I would move on. Why? Like, if he's having these type of press conferences, you got to answer these questions. You don't really know if the guy is healthy, if that's even true. Why continue to add these layers to a young team? Just get rid of it. Get rid of the distractions, get rid of all this nonsense, and let's just focus on the players that are here. And that's just my mindset on that.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think I don't see, for the sake of I'm always for continuity, man. I'm always for continuity. I just don't see how you can guarantee him staying healthy the whole season. And even though we need a point guard, again, just being in and out of the lineup, Burks, Kemba, I think we need to make a decision, stick with it, because there's chemistry issues that come into play, and overall you're trying to win games as well. So. We'll see how it goes, man. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Knicks post-game live presented by Prizepicks. We'll take a couple more calls and then get into our prize picks of the day. Let's hear from, on the Discord, Nathan Unknown. Nathan, go ahead and unmute your mic. Nathan Unknown.
Hey, what's up? Yeah. So first, free throws have been a huge issue. I'm tired of seeing us miss half our free throws. This game's going to be a tie if we make all our free throws. So,
or at least give us a chance.
I don't know what's going on with that.
At least give us a chance. But you're shooting 50% from free throw. That's not going to get it done.
But yeah, something I realized is just I feel like this team operates a lot on allegiances. I think Thibs is going to be gone within the next 2 or 3 years, definitely. Yeah. That's aside from the contract. I think if they're going towards like a Dwayne Casey, Nick Nurse, not Phil Jackson, Mark Jackson, like Steve Kerr type direction. But the issue is, while he's here, he's going to do what he wants. And I think they just compromised with that. I'm trying to understand why they want Miles Turner so much. And I just think it's inevitable. And I honestly think it's to appease Julius. Like, we got Cam because of RJ. They know that Turner and Randall are really tight because they're from Texas. And I'm just like, well, Mitch is really good. I don't think we're going to re-sign Mitch. And like, I'm with you, CP. I honestly think we should. Like, the man's ridiculous. You saw that crossover in the perimeter today. It was ridiculous. Yeah. But if you have a stretch 5, and you're not using him as a stretch 5, what's the value there is in that? Like, he could probably shoot the 3. Like, we always joke about it on the workout videos, but he probably can. But if he's not being utilized like that, like the same way Obi's not being utilized the right way, there's no point in keeping him. And I think like Leon Rose realizes that, and he's like, we might as well shoot the trigger on Miles Turner, even though we have a lot of potential here with Mitch, because we're just not going to use him the way he should be used regardless. And the same thing with Brunson. I think those two moves are definitely going to happen, and it's going to take away players that we honestly think are good, like Mitch and Obi.
Okay. It's good points, man. Nathan, unknown, first-time caller. Definitely appreciate the call, man. Did we lose him?
All right. Yeah, and I just have a final point about yesterday's podcast about a potential Ben Simmons signing. I also might see that being possible. There's two issues I have. One issue I have that, well, I'm positive. Mm-hmm. I feel like he'll help a lot with the zone, just for his penetration abilities, or just, not help a lot with the zone, but help a lot with defense, because currently we can't implement the zone because we don't have perimeter defense at all. Mm-hmm. I think he'll help a lot with our defense, but I think he'll hurt us when it comes to offense in the zone. Yeah. That's definitely something we're going to have to address, because once we hit midcourt type style play in the playoffs, we're not going to survive. Like, we could barely work with transition, and we suck worse when it comes to like midcourt play. So I feel that's also another reason why Mitch has to go, because with the complementary pieces he has around him, he needs help defense in the center, because we get beat up in the interior all the time. I mean, Claude was mentioning this the entire game today. Mm-hmm. A lot of us are like stepping further into the paint, and that's why players are getting open space and making shots. And it's because Mitch isn't going to survive down there all by himself with the type of defense he provides as a stretch five, but not being used as a stretch five. So that's just another incentive to have Turner as well. Okay.
Appreciate the call, man. So Nathan putting his hat in the Turner ring. You know, look, I think the thing with Mitch is his game is what it is. I don't look for him to, you know, the crossover thing was nice to see. It was certainly a surprise in the game, but you know, Mitch's strength is rim protection and getting on the boards, and we need that, because as a team we don't rebound as well. Randall, you know, gets his fair share, but you got to get on the boards, especially on the offensive glass. So, you know, if you moving Mitch away from that basket, you're going to lose those opportunities. So it's a give and take.
Sometimes CP, when a team is up and down, like we have been, right? That's why I believe we're 22-22 now, right?
Yep.
So, you know, when you're a 500 team, sometimes, you know, we as fans, we're analyzing the strengths and weaknesses of the roster. You look at every single weakness, right? We need that position to be this. You know, every position we want a star, and it's just not realistic. So we just have to keep the perspective on what is the highest needs, and then, you know, what are some of the things that we would like to see. I like the Mitch aspect. I want him to be healthy. And in terms of getting a stretch five or offense, that I think that's a thing I would like to see, but I don't know that that's necessarily a thing that I'm like losing sleep over.
Exactly.
We need to figure out the point guard situation. We need to continue to have RJ develop, and let's see how Cam looks. Like, there's other things on the priority list to me that are much higher than what Mitch doesn't bring to the table. Yeah. Because I think if you settle those other positions, Mitch is going to look a lot better.
Nice. Yep.
And maybe we'll start to, you know, appreciate more and see Mitch's true value on the team. But when he, you know, just kind of with Obi, right? Obi, how many times tonight he's looking for an alley-oop? There's no point guard to throw him the ball.
Nobody with the vision, or consistent vision.
Right. So while here, it's like, he ain't doing anything. Maybe Obi goes to another team and he's averaging 10 points a game. You know, so I think there's other needs right now that are much more important to the team before we start looking at, you know, just a stretch five.
No question about it. Shout out Hoodies Vintage $5 super chat. He says, trading Obi is enabling Thibs more. Ask yourself, is the eye test telling you Thibs is a great coach or even competent in game one? Hashtag clown coach, hashtag free Obi. So Hoodies Vintage is saying, what if we get another coach that can utilize the Obi and Randall two-man punch? All right, so that's another way to look at it.
Let's make Fournier the point guard. What is another coach going to do? Just say, what is the other coach going to do other than say, hey, guys, let's run faster. You don't have the personnel here.
Yeah, did E Crossover say let's run 48 at the point, man. Okay, where else are we going? Let's go to the phones. I didn't get to the phones yet. Hang on one second. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Let's go to Cynthia. Let's mix it up, man. Cynthia checking in. Cynthia, how you feeling?
Good, guys. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Listen, guys, very frustrated today. We were absolutely washed, and JD is right on point on how I'm feeling. I think last week, CP, while you were out, I think I commented in the chat that I'm ready to, like, you know, for Thibs to leave, but I know that's not going to happen. But here's my point. Just like JD said, you know, I just felt like if Fournier didn't have it, if Burks was down low, you know, and he didn't have it, why are you waiting so long to put fresh legs in there? You know, and like you said, Obi was doing great, okay? He wanted to prove something. He's scoring points, and then he takes him out within 5 minutes and then puts him at the end for garbage time. Yeah. He puts Deuce at the end. He puts Jericho Sims at the end. We need those young bodies. If you don't see these guys have it,
he gave Taj got his 19 minutes in today. Hey, and I like Taj, man. Taj is my guy. I said Taj managed to get his 19 minutes in today, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course, because this is what JD is saying. This is template coaching. Let me tell you something, guys. With Thibs, look, listen, he's a New Yorker. I'm glad. I know this is his dream coaching job with the Knicks. Yeah, I'm hoo-hoo-ha-rah, yeah, but I'm over it now. Because I didn't see him make adjustments, and I know we talked about this in the beginning. Oh, he didn't have the players. He has depth in the bench. He does, and then I don't know if it's political reasons. Okay, you know, gotta let Fournier break out of the slump. I gotta let Burks break out. If you don't have it, move on. You ask, what is another coach gonna do? I would like to see what another coach would do with Obi and with the same staff. You know what they might do? They'll put the fresh legs out there. They'll put not this template. Okay, I gotta stick to the same 5 guys.
Let's go.
I'm just really frustrated, and I'm going to tell you something right now. Will Leon Rose hold Thibs accountable? Because if he's your best friend, are you looking the other way? Because if I'm in his shoes, I'm talking to the other assistant coaches and say, hey, what would you do tonight? You know, hopefully secretly. Yeah, you can tell me. I won't tell anybody. What would you do tonight? Because you got to hold the people accountable, including the coach. And if we stick with Thibs, I'm telling you, I don't know if we're getting out of the first round, even if we make the playoffs, because he does the template coaching. I don't see it changing. If Thibs doesn't adapt and change, we ain't going nowhere. And Obi, I feel bad for Obi. I am on the Obi hive. And let me explain something, CP. You said like it's a wrong choice. I really do think that they were all out to thinking they're going to trade Randall, right? So, okay, let's get Obi. You're right. Why did they pass all these other guards? But I think they did try to get some other people. But my thing is, now that you got him here and now you saw Randall exploding, it's like JD says, what is your plan? If you see Obi might have potential, right, are you going to stick to the guns and go with Randall? Okay, then trade Obi? Or you're going to give Obi a chance and trade Randall?
Good points.
That's my thing. Personally, I would trade Randall, but
okay. You know. Appreciate the call, Cynthia. Appreciate the call. I think that could be a call of the night candidate, man. What do you guys think of the chat, man? Rate that call 1 to 5. I'm seeing a lot of 5. I'm seeing a lot of 5s in the chat right now. Cynthia was going off. Spitting bars today.
I think the most I appreciate about her call, right or wrong, is her passion. Yeah, you could tell in her energy. She really, she's really frustrated.
Yeah. Oh no, Cynthia don't play around. She don't miss a show, bro. She don't miss a show.
She's not playing around, man. I loved her energy, loved her passion. You could feel her energy. She definitely wasn't happy about the way the game panned out today. So shout out to you, Cynthia.
Nah, Cynthia don't play around, man. Even if she's not in the chat live, she'll reply on. She'll leave a comment on the show. Like, yo, I'm catching up, and then, drop some bars. But nah, Cynthia catches every show, man. So shout out to Cynthia, definitely holding it down. A lot of 5s going off in the chat right now, a lot of fires. So great call. Definitely a great call. All right, a couple more, and then we'll go one more, and then we'll go to our prize picks of the night. Let's go to Josh from Jersey. Josh, how you doing? Will, I see you. We'll most likely close with you, so hang tight if you can. Josh, what's up?
Hey, you guys got me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Really enjoy what you guys do. Really enjoy the show. Yeah, I know you guys were talking about it earlier, and I mean, I feel like everyone kind of sees the problem when it comes to this offense. It's just so easy to guard and so predictable. I mean, you look at the Hornets today, they were without LaMelo Ball, but they still had other guys like Terry Rozier. Even Ish Smith was able to kind of break down the Knicks defense, and it just shows the importance of that, position where when you have a guard that was able to penetrate and create, you're forcing the Knicks or any team to defend. for 24 seconds basically. But the Knicks, I know without Kemba, without Rose, I know coming into the season they were kind of hoping that 50% of each would kind of bring in good point guard play. But now we have neither, and we're ended up starting with defenses kind of get in their heads. They're starting their offense basically like 12 seconds on the shot clock, and it ends up in like an isolation situation, with Randall and where they get frantic. The Hornets, they were, Bridges was killing it in the first half, but they only ended up giving up 97 points at the end of the, for the whole game, and the Knicks only scored 87. So, even if, when you have those, big games from other teams, you're not able to keep up. The shooting percentages are down. I know RJ's been killing it, and he's able to kind of, facilitate, but, you can still see he's not ready to be a primary facilitator on this team. You need someone, like at the point guard position. I know there's talk of Jalen Brunson. I know, at the trade deadline, there's a lot going on. And I think the front office honestly sees it. And you can kind of maybe see it with the Cam Reddish trade where, they've acquired another asset in Reddish. And, I know we've been talking about Obi and, whether or not he was the right pick or not. I mean, does it make Obi expendable? I think the Knicks are kind of preparing to kind of maybe have, that flexibility where whether it's this trade deadline or whether it's in the off season where basically they have assets, they have the ability to be flexible. And if the question is how long they want to wait and what's the right deal, I personally, because the way it works right now, I personally don't, I don't see how, how it can finish, in a way where you get consistent play, from the point guard position.
Yeah, absolutely right, man. No doubt about it. And great call. Definitely appreciate the call. Again, you're not going to get it without a consistent point guard. And in regards to his trade prospects, you're hoping that a team would gamble on his potential because you're not getting too much of a sample size to really see what he can do. Because, again, that's on Thibs, man. That's on Thibs.
And, to his point about the predictable offense and that being one of the unfortunate things around Thibs, I think that's why you take a chance on a Reddish in terms of, if it's predictable, it's predictable. But at times when you have talents like a Reddish or RJ and they're playing well, even if it's predictable, if you can't stop it, you can't stop it. So I think that's why the Cam investment is going to be a critical one, because if he can pan out, then this will elevate the offense and it'll make the Knicks a much more potent team. And, he didn't shed any new light on when Cam could play. So I just don't know what's going on. There's so much things going on with Kemba and Cam. When is Cam playing? Cam says he's good. Obi's not getting minutes. There's a lot of moving parts here while the team is also trying to win games. So I hope that the organization could start to, clear some of these things up so that we can actually focus and get ready to play some basketball. I mean, we're in the middle of an important stretch. We got a game tomorrow. We need to get focused and we need to know what direction all the players need to know. Everyone needs to know, where are we going here? Where are we headed? Because it's the second half of the season now. It's the All-Star break is not here, but look at the games. We're in the second half. So let's get prepared for that. And let's start winning some games again.
Absolutely, man. I got to shout out a big-time super chat that just came in, man. A $300 super chat from KF101, and his comment reads as such. All of us here have been talking about rotation/playing time since the top of the season, more so than lackluster play. That means we were talking about coaching. Thibs is getting close to his ceiling. He can't get us to the promised land. He's unmalleable. He's decent, but he isn't the right coach for this team. Happy MLK Day. KF101, of course, that being Q-Tip. Shout out to the legend. Shout out to the abstract. Everybody in the chat, throw a ATCQ in the chat right now. Hashtag ATCQ to salute the legend, man. Q-Tip, definitely appreciate you supporting us. JD, your thoughts on the Thibs coaching comment, man?
I mean, I don't know. You don't want to get a little premature on some of the things. He's in year 2, but I mean, you see the flaws. You definitely see the flaws, and I think what Leon was thinking here is, when you look at the way the Knicks have been run in the past, what is the best way to get this team back to respectable territory? And you do it with a veteran coach, a respected coach, a coach that's going to be no nonsense, and maybe bring the culture back. And you got to give him credit. Coach of the year last year. I mean, you cannot take that away from him. At the end of the day, you can't take away the season that the Knicks had last year. It did not end in the way that many of us wanted. Yeah. I don't know that we would have beaten the Hawks regardless, but obviously the way that we played in the series wasn't too great. But at the end of the day, he accomplished that. Now, the thing about the business in New York is once we see that, you know how it is, CP, we look at the next level. All right, we got that. What's the next level this year? And so far, it hasn't worked out. And, in terms of his future here, I mean, you look at his age, you look at the contract. I mean, you could see it. I don't know that he's going to be here long term, but he may be here for this contract because the team is not ready yet to win a championship. So, right. Leon might say, what's the point of me changing Thibs tomorrow? We're not ready yet for me to transition this roster to that coach that he really may want.
Turned 64 today. Today's actually his birthday. So happy birthday to Thibs. From some Knicks fans. Look, you got the Coach of the Year award, and people want to be tight, like, man, it was Monty Williams' award. Look, man, you got the Coach of the Year award. They overachieved tremendously last year. He did a lot with a little. I don't think you can discredit him for that by any stretch. Top 11 all-time in wins. With that comes a mentality, a philosophy that he feels is tried and true. He's sticking to that. He's a stubborn coach. We know that. So, and we're seeing it. We saw it in the playoffs. We're seeing it throughout the regular season. Just a lack of, adjustments, an unwillingness to try new things, experiment a little bit here and there when things aren't going your way. He's a guy that he sticks to his guns, win or lose. And he very well could be a table setter for this team. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Many coaches are in the NBA. Mark Jackson was a table setter for Steve Kerr. It happens that way. It happens all the time where, a certain coach will take that team to certain places, and then he starts losing the locker room. They start drowning him out. Then the next coach turn. And maybe that next coach throws in a wrinkle or two and takes that team to another level for the next guy. So it's very possible that Thibs could be a table setter for this team, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I don't see his job being on the line or anything like that, because right now this team is still being competitive. They're still in the hunt for a playoffs. If they make the playoffs again, I don't see how you make a move. Now if you're looking at 2 back-to-back losing seasons, then yeah, I think you consider making a move. But for right now, I think this is what we have. So see where it goes. We'll see where it goes, what happens when we get some reinforcements, what happens at the trade deadline, and then we take it from there. All right. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. This is Knicks Postgame Live presented by Prizepicks. I got word that the closer, Jay Boogie, is on the line, so we're going to get to him shortly. We got 1,300 people here in the chat. Let's get those likes up. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Let's get up to 1,000 likes on this MLK Day weekend, man. Knicks didn't win, but Knicks Postgame Live is the #1 show for the fans by the fans. So let's give a thumbs up. Hit that like button for that. If you guys are new in the chat, man, 1,300 people, there's got to be some new viewers in here. Leave a hashtag new, drop it in the chat, and we will shout you guys out right after this promo. As you guys know, man, the show is presented by Prizepicks. This is a product and service that me and JD play all the time, CK2K as well. And what is Prizepicks? Prizepicks is the best daily fantasy prop operator on the market. They have more NBA props than any other prop operator out there. And what do we mean by props? It's simple as this. We're playing overs and unders. Prizepicks, very easy to play. You go to prizepicks.com, enter promo code KFTV. They'll match your deposit up to $100. And then you're just going to select 2 to 5 players, and you can mix and match sports. You don't have to play all NBA. You can play NBA, NFL, so on. 2 to 5 players, and you're going to predict their over or under for certain stats that Prizepicks has selected each night. So it's just you versus the house. It's that easy to play. Now, JD, man, my lock of the night was, let me get my Prizepicks in here. My lock of the night was RJ at 2.5 free throws because I just felt like he was going to maintain that edge. A zone defense will certainly have something to say there. So shout out to the Hornets and Coach James Rago. RJ finished with 2 free throws made. I needed one more for him to hit that. Nevertheless, on my ticket, I did take Ja Morant over 24.5 points against a reeling Chicago Bulls team. Right now, Ja has 5 points, and that game is, I believe it's close to halftime. So he's got to pick it up in order for me to hit that over. Another pick that I made today was, let's see, where else did I go today? Fred VanVleet. I took the over on VanVleet, over 21.5. VanVleet and the Raptors taking on the Miami Heat in Miami. That game slated to tip off at 7:40, so I won't know the result on that until later on, but I did take VanVleet on the over 21.5 points. Yeah, it's a tough matchup against Miami Heat, but I feel like VanVleet has just been playing so well. I'm taking that one. DeMar DeRozan, no Lonzo, no Caruso, no Zach LaVine in Memphis taking on the Grizzlies. I went with DeRozan over 6 dimes, and right now DeRozan in this game has 1 going into the halftime. So he's got to pick that up as well for me to hit. And then the last pick I made, I went over the threes, man. I went over the threes, and I took Desmond Bane, Memphis versus the Chicago Bulls. Desmond Bane over 2.5 3-pointers made. Desmond Bane now has 3 3-pointers made at the half, so I was able to cash in on that. So there we go with that ticket. Now, I also have a second ticket where I have Joel Embiid over 28.5 points. He hit that against the Wizards. I have Ja Morant, Fred VanVleet on that same ticket, and then I also have DeJounte Murray. I took Murray over 18.5 against the Phoenix Suns. That game tipping off at 8:40, so we won't know that later. But then I had RJ on both tickets, man. So the RJ 2.5 free throws made did not hit. Hoping to make 4 out of 5 on both tickets and come out of there with $80. How'd you do, man?
Well, I also played 2 tickets, and on my first ticket, I am hopefully on my way to hitting 4 out of 5. I had RJ over 19.5 points. The thinking was, I had RJ and Julius. I had Julius under 20.5 and RJ over 19.5. And thinking is only 4 times this season have they both hit 20 points. Yeah. The Knicks are 3-1 in those games. So, I can't pick both of them on the over. It hasn't happened a lot. So I figured, let me take the under on Julius, which he had 18 points. I hit on that. I hit the over on RJ. He had 18 points. I did not hit on that. And then I had Mitchell Robinson under 9.5 rebounds. He had 6. So I hit on that. I had Terry Rozier over 20.5 points. He had 22. So I hit on Terry Rozier, hit on Julius Randle under 20.5, hit on Mitchell Robinson under 9.5 rebounds. And right now, Kyrie Irving has 16 points. I have him over 22.5.
That one looked good, that Kyrie one. How much
KD.
time left in that game?
You had no KD. They're entering the fourth quarter. It's a tight game, 86-85. With no KD.
Should be able to hit that.
Kyrie has a good matchup against Darius Garland. He only has to hit 6 more points, 7 more points. I think he'll get that. And then the second ticket, so that could be 4 out of 5, depending on how Kyrie finishes the game. The second ticket, I had over Terry Rozier again. I hit on that. I have under 25.5 points for DeRozan. He has 10 points at the half. I have under 29.5 points on Giannis. We'll see tonight. And I have over 22.5 on Kyrie. So that could be another 4 out of 5 because I also played RJ in both tickets and I didn't hit because, he had 18 points.
Tough for me.
But little tip here, if the line continues to be 19.5, don't be afraid to play the over because although he only had 18 points, he was just short and he had 18 shot attempts.
18 shots.
So it seems like RJ is going to continue to get the opportunities to hit the 20-point mark. So depending on the matchup, don't be afraid to play RJ in the over. And as always, play responsibly.
No
Not my fault if y'all lose your money.
No question.
Want to go crazy.
Play responsibly, man. And like we said, man, you go to prizepicks.com, promo code KFTV. They'll match your deposit up to $100. So it's a good deal. Go ahead and play, but play responsibly. Back to the phones we go. Let's go to Zay. Zay from Maryland. Zay, what's good, bro?
Hey, what's going on, CP, JD? How y'all doing?
Good. How you feeling, man?
I'm okay. Good. This game is very interesting. It just shows a lot to me. I feel like this game, I wasn't that hyped. I thought if any of the 4 games, this was the game that we may lose just based off of the matchup.
Me too.
The team that they're running gun, all fast, just keep going. They're a quick offense, so I just knew we would have a trouble with that. And then if we missing our shots, my biggest problem is Evan Fournier. No one had confidence pretty much to shoot the 3. It was like you can tell a big difference between when the Hornets when they pass the ball to the 3 ball once they're cutting to the basket and then they pass it out, they're quickly rising up to shoot. For some reason, we were just scared to shoot the ball. So with Evan Fournier not even shooting, it just takes the whole game elsewhere. We're just fighting for 2s while they're just lighting it up from the 3. So it was just a bad, clunky game altogether. This is where I think Cam Reddish would come in great. And it's important that the management does their part with making sure we have the pieces we need in the future to pretty much get over the hump. So they need to stop worrying about Thibs and start worrying about how to make this team better. Because Thibs is playing an old school game. He damn near has his plays written on stone. So it's not going to change unless halftime he finds a new tablet or something. I don't know. Thibs is just so old school with the way he he's not making much changes mid game. But Cam Reddish is a good pick, but they have to move Evan Fournier in order for Cam Reddish to get time. If not, Thibs is going to burn Evan Fournier to the ground. Just playing time, and Cam Reddish isn't going to get the chance to really shine. So they need to make a change with getting rid of Fournier or just getting rid of some of these people. Have to go. It's just too many bodies, and there's too many people that Thibs is like loyal to. Yeah. Some of them got to go. Some of the old guys got to go so that these young guys can start getting some burn. Because technically, if Rose and Kemba was not out right now, we wouldn't know what Grimes would be able to do. So it's like we wouldn't know what Grimes would be able to do. We wouldn't know anything about Deuce. Deuce was buried at the back of the bench. He still is, but it's taken injury for Thibs to even see this. Like, what are you looking at in practice? What are you doing in practice? Like, why don't you see these young legs and what they can do? Or why are you avoiding that to sit there and push these vets? Something's got to happen. And I think that, so something's got to change with either between management or Thibs. But, they got to push him to start playing the young guys, or he's got to go. Bring in Johnny Bryant or bring up Johnny Bryant, let him run the young guys or something. Something's got to happen at this point. But that's my only point is just this game is just real weird to me.
Man. Good points. Good points from Zay from Maryland, man. That definitely good points.
Hit 4 out of 5. Kyrie has 23. He just
Dang, what do you go on a 7-0 run, bro?
He went on a 7-0 run. That's serious by himself. In like a minute and a half.
In a minute and a half.
He has 23 points now. 10 of 16 from the field.
All right, there you go. There you go.
A lot of James Harden stuff popping up today too.
What do you mean?
There's like developing stories. I texted to you that he's open to relocating. There's a lot of trade rumors flying around now.
Well, I've been hearing he's been wanting to go to Philly since he was with the Rockets. I heard.
And of course, people already asking in the chat what we think about Harden here.
I mean, what do you mean? What do I think about James Harden here? I mean, is that even a question? Is that a serious question? Or we being serious or what? You know, people always want to know if there's a chance. Yeah.
32 years old, has a player option, but RJ's gone in that deal, so I don't know if that that we can even make a deal.
Right. No, I've been hearing that Harden to Philly thing for a minute, man. So hey,
which goes to show you it's how things change. You have KD now with, hopefully he gets healthy, but is that the overcompensated from the Achilles? You start to get these knee injuries later in your career. When you do that, you're messing with the basketball gods, and just weird things happen. Sometimes you go into it, you think you're going to win 4 or 5 straight rings, and then you may not even win one. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in Brooklyn. That's why they went over there to hide.
Yeah. Oh, coach, you already know, bro. You already know.
Because if things like this happen, it's like nobody's talking about it. They're chilling.
Yeah. Makes things that make you go, Will, what's good, bro?
Hey, what's going on, CPJD, man? Running up for your boys. Hit that thumbs up button. Keep it going, man. Listen, man, this is the thing, bro, and this is about Thibs. For Knicks fans, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, right? Because I understand. I do not want a revolving door of coaches. That stunts a whole lot of players' growth. It's stagnation. It's not good. But at the same time, bro, when we got Obi Toppin, bro, and I promise you it's not just because we're playing this team, I legit thought we got a Miles Bridges type of player. A player that can, jump out the gym, he can pass, he can shoot, and he can, really, speed the game up a little bit. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But, the issue is now, okay, I'm not willing to throw the whole team away just for Obi. If we have to use him in a trade to get that point guard, which will make it easier for everybody, I'm willing to do that. But at the same time, bro, that right there is basically saying that any young player that we get in the draft, no matter how good they are, no matter what the scouts say, if they don't get the Thibs stamp of approval, it don't matter because Thibs is not going to play them. Everything that everybody was saying, especially the last caller that was saying that we didn't know that Grimes was this player. If we never want injury on a player, COVID situations, injuries on Derrick Rose, none of that. Mm-hmm. But if it was never for that forced Thibs to play the young guys. And it's just at this point, I'm content for Obi to go somewhere else and he blows up. It's whatever because, the Cam Reddish acquisition kind of softens the blow. But it's just in the future, bro. That's why I hope that we're a good team going forward, that we're going to be picking, the 20s, the 15 or 20 range or whatever. Because at that point, you don't got a lot of pressure. But if we don't make the playoffs and then we get a high pick, it's going to be the same thing all over again. No matter how good the player is, does he get that stamp of approval from Thibs? And you know what? And if today is Thibs' birthday, that makes a lot of sense because that means that Thibs is a Capricorn. And I'm a Capricorn, and I've been told that I'm stubborn.
Here we go with the astrology.
And when I think about an animal, a stubborn goat is exactly what I think Thibs is, bro. Just a stubborn old goat. That's Tom Thibodeau, man. But shout out to him. Shout out to his birthday. But either way, I'll let you guys go, man. That's all I have to say. It's just listen, man, if you enable this enough, if it happens in the future, no matter how good the player is, if they don't get that Thibs stamp of approval, it doesn't matter.
Let's go.
So that's all I got to say,
call,
bro. I'm going to let y'all go.
Let's go rapid fire. Dan from New Jersey. Go ahead and unmute your mic. Dan, what's good?
Okay.
How you feeling, bro?
That game was a crapshoot. I'm not going to lie to you. But I think we just don't match up well with the Hornets, man. We're a slow-paced team, and, we got even slower defenders in that starting lineup. Mm-hmm. I don't like the effort that Randall puts in. If there's anything about Randall is he's going to be consistently inconsistent on the defensive end. One night, he'll be switching on to Trae Young, not letting him get a bucket on him. And, the next night, he's letting Miles Bridges go 9 for 10 from field goal in the first quarter. So, if there's anybody I am open to trading in the future, it's a 27-year-old that's really inconsistent. Mm-hmm. I can live with inconsistency from RJ. He's the youngest on the team.
All right, yo, we're gonna drop. We're gonna
better, man.
Okay, appreciate the call. Your connection was kind of choppy. Let me get to the phones because my guy Q-Tip is on the line right now. Let's get to the abstract. Q-Tip, let's go.
What up, man? What up, Knicks Nation? What up, JDCP, man?
How you feeling, man?
Salute.
Happy MLK Day. We can't get past that. I'm not going to hold it up too long. I'm a little aggy, man. I'm a little aggy, man. Look, shouts out to Thibs. Happy birthday. I know this is not the birthday present. He wants to hear everybody up here, going off on him and making these suggestions. But it's just clear, JD. It's like you give him the love. He's the 11th most winning coach, but he gets you to a certain point. You know what I mean? And part of the thing is that he's like everybody's been saying consistently, he's just stubborn. He's a 10 rotation dude. Mm-hmm. That's it. We have a first round number 8 pick Obi Toppin. I mean, you can't, have a matinee. He's, part of the thing too is that you're playing against a Charlotte team that pushes the tempo.
Right.
Right. So then you have a guy, at the 4, he comes in. Julius was a little lethargic. He's, point guard a little bit. He's dribbling or whatever. He's taking ill-advised shots, as Walt says, whatever. So then you bring in Obi. He gets the 3. He gets 2. He goes to the line. He misses the 2. And you see Thibs on the line, gets frustrated and subs him out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to know your matchup. You're playing a fast team. He's starting to break into the momentum. You know what I mean? So I think that that's just part and parcel for the ceiling. Like I said in the super chat, like I feel like he's hitting the ceiling. He's staying this year. They'll make it to the playoffs, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? I see 6 seeds, 7 seeds, something like that. And they'll probably be kind of the same thing next year. You know what I mean? We'll get some talent. Cam will come in and do his thing. Everybody, we're going to continue to talk about rotation until we blue in the face. And then next year, you're going to have to let him go before the All-Star break because you don't, like the caller said before, I'm not trying to upset the culture either because I think he was great in setting that table, setting the identity, setting the defense, intensity, but you got to think, you got to be a strategist. And I think, because he's so celebrated and has such a great tenure of coaching, that he's just staunch. He's not going to move it. You know what I mean? And the NBA is continually changing. To his credit, the way that when they rock with the 3-pointers and the way they give it up when they get hot, it's a good thing that he lets it ride here and there. But for the most part, he's kind of old hat. You know what I'm saying? And we have I'll just stress, we have a number 8 first-round pick that we've seen flashes, but we haven't been able to see him really sit through it and develop.
It's true.
God forbid, we have a McBride there. We definitely need a point guard. The point guard situation is horrendous, but what are we gonna do with McBride? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like you gotta loosen it up, and that's all I got. You know what I'm saying? I think that Thibs just needs to kind of for his birthday, go to a spa or something, man. Go do the yoga or something, man, and just loosen it up a little bit for the new year, man. Something, man. He need to shake it up, but I'm not gonna take up too much time, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear the closer, and that's it, man. But JD, man, come on, man. I mean, Thibs, he's good, but he's not gonna get us to the promised land. He's just not. I love all y'all out there. Happy MLK Day. I know what it is.
Appreciate the call, man. Throw some 5s in the chat. The abstract, the legend, Q-Tip in the building, man. Throw some 5s in the chat. Throw a hashtag ATCQ in the chat. Q-Tip calling in Aggie, man. He needs some answers, JD.
You got someone in the chat says, "Is that really Q-Tip?"
Yeah,
yes,
right.
Really,
yeah, man.
That's
Come on,
really
man.
Q-Tip.
100%.
Shout out to him. 30+ million views on everything on YouTube. Saw him on My Expert Opinion. I think one of the most fun things about being a part of this platform is sometimes I'm in awe. I'm really doing a show and you have a Lloyd Banks coming in showing support. You have a Q-Tip coming in showing support. So, it's sometimes I'm standing here and I'm listening to him and I'm just in awe. That's really Q-Tip here talking, basketball with us. So shout out to you. Thank you for calling. Thank you for supporting. And, with the Thibs thing, I think this is why, when the front office made the decision, CP, at this point, if you're all in on Thibs, you got to get him the players that he wants, right? That's the point of hiring coaches. If you're going to hire a coach that's a fast-paced coach that wants to run, then you got to get him some athletic players. If you're a coach that, you hire Thibs that wants to play slow pace and wants to play defense, likes big guards, you got to get him those players. And so, that's, you believe in him or not, that's just the way the business works. So that's why the whole GM and head coach, they always have to be on the same page.
Yeah.
See it all around in sports where front offices make a certain decision, and then as you're in the middle of that journey, you don't really agree with the approach of the coach, right? And we've seen now some moves with Leon Rose, with drafting Obi, with Cam. I don't necessarily think Cam is a Thibs type player, because Thibs wants players that are ready now, that don't need that much of development in their games. Right. So the Cam move, so sometimes I feel like Leon may be thinking one way and Thibs is like, they're friends. I'm not saying that there's friction. You can have differences of philosophies and opinions, but you can't have that between a GM and a coach. And so that's why I think that, Thibs was brought in here more so to be maybe that stopgap guy, bring respectability back to the team, and then you go from there.
And maybe it's Johnny Bryant, the associate coach. Maybe it's Johnny Bryant. And look, Thibs has always told you this is what he wants in a point guard. He needs a guy that's going to get downhill, drive and kick. And this is why watching D Rose on this team this past year and a half has been so refreshing, because it's been the most consistent option we've had at that role. It's just, he's older, he's not as durable, and we need a long-term option at the position, because we see how not having that just makes our offense so inconsistent. Today we barely mustered 80 points in the thick of the game, because we just couldn't get into a rhythm between RJ and Julius orchestrating and Burks orchestrating. We just couldn't get into it. And if you have a more reliable point guard that can get downhill and get it done for you, you can get that. You can get that going. So it is tricky, because I think part of it too is also having the horses for him. As you said on the Reddish thing, yeah, I agree. I don't think Thibs is a guy that's really a development guy per se, but I think that's also why the Knicks invested in player development, in the scouting staff, in the analytical department. It seems like they did make a significant investment there, so that, while he can focus on the X's and O's, they can focus on, player development and helping guys get work in before games, so on and so forth. So,
That's true. But then the coach has to believe in that. And then the coach has to give the player that opportunity, because you invest in player development, but you want to see that investment work out. And the only way it can work out is, that player development investment. And Johnny Bryant, who I personally believe is going to be assigned the task to work with Reddish. Johnny Bryant has had a relationship with Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell has talked a lot that he was an integral part of his development in terms of building the relationship, building that confidence in player development. And I think Johnny Bryant will work closely with Reddish. But at the end of the day, all that gym work and all season work, if he doesn't go out on the court and get the opportunity, what does it matter? Yeah. So, let's see how this works out. And you hope. That's why I think Cam Reddish's RJ and Reddish are going to be important to the second half of the season.
No question. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Knicks post-game live presented by Prizepicks. We just had a legend among us call in on this show. We got 1,200 people. Hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button, because you're getting this nowhere. There's nowhere on the internet, on the interwebs today, that you're getting basketball talk and Q-Tip calling in with his thoughts on the game. He called in. He was tight, man. It's MLK Day. He had a million other things he could do. But he's a big fan of the show. He's a diehard Knicks fan. He's one of us. Call in to give his takes, man. Hit that thumbs up, man. This is free 99. This is free entertainment that you're getting. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. All we ask is for your support. You're not getting that nowhere else, JD.
Absolutely not. Definitely,
you know what I'm saying?
Not.
Midnight Marauders, one of the first albums I ever bought. First albums I ever bought as a youth. No question, man. Shout out to Tribe, man. ATCQ. Throw it in the chat. All right. As we wrap up, a couple more. Let's go to Dan from Long Island. Dan, how you feeling?
What's good? What's good, fellas?
Real
quick. I hope to all people of goodwill, I hope that you're celebrating properly MLK Day, and big important day to the young cats out there. Mm-hmm. Remember, man, you kids may not remember this. There was a time we didn't get this day off. We had to fight for this day off.
That's a fact.
You know that? And to make it a national holiday. and PE, right? They wrote that song by the time I get to Arizona. So, this didn't come, celebrating Dr. King didn't happen easy. So we should all just be thinking about all what it took and whatever. A great man, obviously, who gave a lot to all of us. But listen, the thing is about Thibs, man, here's what I don't understand, fellas. If we had Thibs, then give us Thibs. And by that I mean structured defense. There's nothing there. See, that's what bothers me. That starting five today gave you nothing other than Mitch, poor guy, trying to catch shots because guys are just getting blown by. But terrible. And even when Charlotte missed shots in the first half, which wasn't very often, Julius Randle's feet are never, ever, ever in the paint. He gets long, cheap rebounds. My man never earns a board. Never, ever earns a board. Lazy today. And look, Bridges was unconscious, but still lazy. So when you talk about Thibs, and you guys are right, he set a culture last year. He's a guy who is going to give you something. But right now, he's not giving that, at least from where I sit. I think this is the most disappointing loss we've had since that Wizards game. And again, it just seemed like, and I know when you're not playing well, it looks like the days ago. I know the guys are trying, but it just seems to me that's what's bothering me. If I was getting vintage Thibs and we weren't scoring or whatever, I could understand it. What's frustrating is we're not even getting vintage Thibs, fellas. We're getting, I don't know what we're getting. That first unit is unathletic. You guys are right. You're playing an athletic team tonight. Obi comes out, hits that three.
You don't play athletes.
No. So I don't know. I just don't understand what this is all about. And here's the bigger thing. You said it now. If we brought in Cam, but because, again, young, athletic, wing, we have Obi, again, young, athletic kid. And I'm not, I don't know if Obi's the answer or not. But what's Rose's? I mean, they have meetings, right? They have to be part of Scott Perry, all these guys, they're involved in discussion with the coach what they plan to do. So I don't know. I'm just confused right now, and I guess that's what's bothering me. So it is what it is. Listen, guys, thanks for taking the call, man. Keep doing a great job. I might not be as famous as Q-Tip, but I love your show, man, and keep doing it for the fans, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, Dad. Always appreciate the support, man. Yeah, I mean, look, we talked about it yesterday. The defense had been trending upwards. I didn't like the matchup. And then on top of that, you had a team coming in hungry. And if you didn't match them from the opening tip, it was going to be a long day. Because I already told you from last night, this team was going to come in ready to play. You have to match that first and foremost. Then let's get to the chess pieces on the board. You got an athletic guy like Miles Bridges going off. Your offense is stuck in the mud. Your defense is a step slow. You need energy, right? How many times this year have we heard Thibs say, we needed energy out there, we didn't get it? Now you
better bring the energy tomorrow.
Right, and you better bring it tomorrow, right? But now you have a kid playing with a chip on his shoulder, didn't come out well against the Hawks, comes in, gives you 7 straight buckets, and then he disappears like Houdini. And you don't see him again until the game is out of whack.
You mean the crowd is chanting Obi during the game. You don't think the crowd? You don't think this is why the Knicks fans are the most. They have the reputation that they do. Smartest fan base in the world. Yeah. They know what's going on.
They know what it is, man.
But then now I ask you though, CP, because there is some perspective, right? So they've won. The Knicks have been winning games, and if they win tomorrow, all things back to All things are well. So is tomorrow a must win to you?
Tomorrow against the Timberwolves? Not necessarily, because I looked at today as a more important game when you factor in tiebreakers. We're now 2 games down to this team. We have 2 more left against this team. So the best you can do is hope to tie. But again, when you're going up against, the Pacers, the Celtics, you got to win these games. This was a more important game. Tomorrow, I would love to see it happen. But I don't necessarily view tomorrow as a must win. It'd be a good win to make sure that we feel good about ourselves and we're not heading in the wrong direction, especially going up against that West Coast gauntlet. But I wouldn't say must win per se. What about you?
I mean, if you could guarantee me that they're going to win the 2 games after that, then maybe not.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. You got to win these home games. You got three more. You got the next 3 games are all home games, and then you're at Cleveland, at Miami, at Milwaukee on ESPN. That's 3 tough games right there.
Tough stretch, man.
And there's people that are going to be. There's people that are out there that are going to say, so 3 losses. You know, there's people that are going to think that. So to me, you know, and more so after a performance like tonight. It's just the nature of professional sports. You just hope that the team just comes back tomorrow with more energy. So it's an early game. Yeah. So while it was tough to play the game, now that the game is over, you have more time to be ready for tomorrow. So although it's a back-to-back, it's not like, you know, you played at 7:30 and you're going to sleep at midnight. You know, like these guys now have the rest. They're already on their hotels. Yeah. It's brick outside, so you better not be going out.
Stay out of Marquee. You know, don't go to Marquee tonight. You know, just lay low. And and
get ready for tomorrow. It's an exciting game too. Above everything, it's a good game. You got some talent. You got another talented team. So I hope. And if they win tomorrow, that's why I said perspective. They win tomorrow. That's 9 of 13 that they won. As of this moment, they're 8 of their last 11. They're 8-3 in their last 11 games. So if they win tomorrow, that's 9. And so, you know, I don't know that it's a must win, but I just hope that they come out with at least a much better performance than they did today.
True story, true indeed. And once again, tomorrow we'll be live streaming live from MSG. Tomorrow we'll do 3 shows from MSG, and then we'll do a regular post game show hosted by CK2K and Julito. So make sure you check it out, man. Action packed day for KnicksFanTV, man. We'll go live from the pregame shoot around 5:45 p.m. Eastern time, and then we'll do a pregame show. Then we'll go live for a little bit during halftime. We'll do live fan reactions from MSG, and then Knicks postgame live. So I'll have all of that scheduled tonight. Make sure you set your reminders for each one so that you are up to speed. All right, let's go ahead and close the show. Great show, bad loss, but it is what it is. J Boogie, let's go.
Salute. 3 capital S's. Shout out to everybody still rocking with that orange and blue. Shout out to all y'all people in the chats. Y'all the great and most important people it is, you know what I'm saying, to be loyal as you are. Shout out to my GM, great man, general manager, you know what I'm saying, CP. Y'all know who he is. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. Shout out to my man, the young Griselda, JD, you know what I'm saying? We had a beautiful talk last night. It was magic. More like Nas and Hit Boy linked up last night, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to CK2K. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying, the great Lex Luger. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying, the Wonder Woman herself, the lady herself, you know what I'm saying, the queen, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Shout out to my man EJ, the behind the board man, you know what I'm saying? Y'all already know who I am, you know what I'm saying? Let's get down to business. But before that, hold up. Shout out to the great MLK, Mr. Martin Luther King, once said upon himself, I have a dream. But let me also share that with you as a dream. You all have dreams. The thing about your dreams, you just got to believe it and live it. And once you believe it and you live it, then you can achieve it. You're your own roadblock in life. Go get your dreams and be successful. I want to appreciate everybody that's with me throughout my toughest times, you know what I'm saying, helping me lay down my moms to rest, you know what I'm saying. God bless her, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, a beautiful woman, and I thank y'all for helping me get through. That's why I always say it's crazy how you could be close to someone that's far away and they're closer to the ones that's closer to you. That's how I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, you know what I'm saying? Let y'all know and understand that, J Boogie, when I say I love y'all, I love y'all. Shout out to the great legendary Q-Tip. That's a Queens thing, and you know I'm from Queens, you know what I'm saying? I believe he went to Springfield. If I'm wrong, my bad. I went to Cardozo. I'm from Linden. I'm from right around the corner from Fife, playing 2-in touch in front of his house. His moms used to come out and say, yo, come inside. You don't need to be out there. All that time he was in there writing legendary rhymes that we all lived to, you know what I'm saying? But I got to get on this team real quick. I do not like how they woke up this morning. I don't know if you didn't get off the left side of the bed. You didn't get off the right side of the bed. You see it's a footboard. You trying to get off where the footboard was at because you did not show up in this building. This was a big time game for us to go in there and handle our business. You got a team that's a couple of games in front of us. You got a team that already done beat us this year. You know what I'm saying? We making a mark. This is a game that you must have. You know what I'm saying? The great players know how to step their game up even further when you thought I couldn't step up even more. Nobody came to shore. Where was the energy? Where was the effort? Nobody wanted this game. You know what I'm saying? The thing about back in the days that you loved our team, if you beat us, you know what I'm saying, you left up out of there wiping your forehead like, whew, I'm glad to be up out of there. If we can't beat you, we gonna beat you up that game. You know what I'm saying? You got guys laughing and joking, you know what I'm saying, staying on our floor, thinking it's a party, you know what I'm saying? They thinking they're an all-white party or something, you know what I'm saying, after they get a victory. No, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I ain't finished with the players, but I'm gonna jump over here to Tom. Tom, you gotta handle your business, because when the team ain't playing good, you got to be coaching good. You both cannot be doing the same thing unless you're both doing good and coaching good at the same time. You know what I'm saying? You got all the things on the table laid out for you. Ain't no more excuses, no nothing for you. Shout out to you. Happy birthday to you, you know what I'm saying? But still in all, you got to handle your business, man. You got to make the right decisions. You got to make the right choices, you know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to critique. You got to know how to use when you know what I'm saying, when you think you can't use no more. You heard last night they was talking about you was going to 9. Nah, don't just stop at 9. You play each and every player until you feel like you got the right punch. You know what I'm saying? You know, you use everybody on the team, the coaching staff, the players, the off, everybody. You must use everybody every time during each and every game, man. This is a bad loss, but we're going to wake up tomorrow and take this thing out on Minnesota. You heard him talking about you on the last game, RJ. Yeah, we wanted to get RJ the ball. We'll live with his answers and everything. What you going to do about it tomorrow, RJ? You going to straighten your face from this game here? You going to straighten your face against that last game, Minnesota? And you going to let them know this is who I am. This is the player that I've been for all season. I've been waiting on you. Handle your business, man. That's what we need to do, man. We got 3 straight games. I need to go 3 and 1 on this 4-day strip. You know what I'm saying? But I just want y'all to know the closer. I'm back in the building. I'm feeling myself. I'm back on my vibe. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know some more music gonna come. I'm just waiting till after that deadline, and I'm gonna get back to handling my business. God be the glory. Everybody continue to stay healthy and safe. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. The KnicksFanTV, we appreciate y'all. Hit them like buttons. Every time you hit that like button, that shows appreciation for the show. We're not asking you to do anything more. Just press the like button and let us know you're being entertained every time you come out. And shout out to the, you know what I'm saying, the madam was on here, Miss Cynthia. Love you, girl. 3 capital C's. C. I see y'all later on, you know what I'm saying, after the game tomorrow night. Salute, salute, salute.
Let's go. J Boogie. Yo, that might have been J Boogie's best call ever, man. Real talk. Real talk.
We gotta J Boogie has to be Theo Pinson's replacement, man.
Yo, real talk. That might have been his best call ever, man. Throw some 5s in the chat for J Boogie, man. That's how you close the show.
J Boogie can get a 5'7" guy to believe he can make it to the NBA.
Yeah,
like that's how potent his speech.
Yo,
you know, he man.
That was a classic. No breaths taken. Straight flames.
RJ, he challenged you, RJ. See what you got tomorrow.
Yeah. Straight flames from J Boogie. That was by far the best one. And there's been a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? There's been a lot of them.
90 seconds.
That was the best J Boogie sermon probably of all time. I gotta say so myself, man. Shout out to J Boogie. Condolences to him and his family once again on the passing of his mom. Definitely want to hail him up and support him. You know, not just through the good times like these, but through hard times, because we all go through it. So we all gotta make sure we pick each other up, man. So definitely shout out J Boogie and appreciate him for even calling in, during this time. So appreciate that. Great show, JD. Great show to all the mods. Great show. Thanks again, Q-Tip, for calling in. Remember, tomorrow night, Knicks vs. Timberwolves, 4 shows for KnicksFanTV Live. So make sure you guys are tuning in. And hopefully we rebound, man. Shout out my guy Eugene, $20 super chat just came in. He says, in the words of Q-Tip, all we want in this life is peace, prosperity, and a little bit of paper. I will add a Knicks win on MLK Day. We got to get our rotation straight and bring energy. Shout out to KFTV, great show. Shout out my guy Gene, all the way out there in the Bay Area, holding it down. Big fan of this show, my guy G, man. Appreciate the support, bro. Adrian Morales, $5 super chat says, J Boogie, a national treasure. Salute. My condolences to him and his family. Yeah, definitely appreciate that. Okay, let me refresh from my end and pull up the rest of the Super Chats. Knicks lose 97-87, man. Tough loss, but we got to bounce back. Bad Black Man says, salute to J-Boog as always, but Q-Tip is a Bergstrom alum. Reggie Jones says, Thibs is the good coach of yesterday. Comedian Senator P says, thanks KFTV, great show for the fans. Dr. Blocktopus, $15 Australian. I don't know if this is Australian or Austria. I got to check it out. Dr. Blocktopus says, I'm starting Cam as soon as he is healthy because we need to see if RJ and Reddish could be our cornerstones. What is the deal for Brunson looking like it would be? Happy MLK Day to everyone, be safe. I think a Brunson thing is more realistic to be in the offseason. I don't see Dallas. I think he's a big piece for Dallas, a big rotation player for them. I don't see them interrupting that to feel this thing, in mid-season. I think this is an off-season acquisition if there is one. And then you're looking at a sign and trade. You're looking at a sign and trade. So
they have some decisions to make because they have. When you look at that roster, Reggie Bullock, multi-year deal. Luka Doncic, max deal. Dwight Powell still has another year left. Tim Hardaway Jr. They paid him. He has 4 more years.
Yeah.
You have Porzingis contract. There's a lot of contracts on that roster, so it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with Brunson.
Yeah, no question about it. Shout out to John Farley, says Thibs is the problem. We are running the 94 Knicks offense in 2022. We have talent on this team, but it's not being utilized properly at all. Also, we need a consolidation trade to free up some minutes. Andy Magnan says, CAACP, what's good? JD, you have been doing the Lord's work. Leon showed you with the Cam trade that he will play, players will get traded, and Thibs is out. Alex F says, fire Thibs tonight on his birthday. Oof, cold world. Shout out to the $300 Super Chat. We all want Thibs gone ASAP. Wow. Nico B says, I was at the game tonight and sat next to Leon Rose's massage therapist. True story. Tried to gather some trade intel, but came up short. Love the show. Hopefully you got a referral, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Q-Tip once again, $300 Super Chat. Major. Haitian Ferg says, questioning Thibs is fair. At times I feel like the front office is hanging him out to dry. This roster isn't up to par, and last year set up this year's disappointment. We knew our roster was bad. I think that's a good point. I think that is a fair point by Haitian Ferg. Expectations has a lot to do with it. It's been a hard year with injuries and COVID and this, that, and the third, inconsistent play. But, Thibs still has his role as well. So you're just hoping everybody improves and is more consistent. David Code Fonseca says, I'm not saying, I'm just saying, what do you think the value of IQ and OB package is? What will it get you? I mean, by itself, I don't think nothing crazy. I think, you're talking about additional draft picks and I don't know. Right now, IQ's not playing so well. OB's in his limited minutes is what it is. I don't know.
You just have to think. When you think about these IQs and OBs and some of these young players, just look at Reddish. What did Reddish net?
Yeah,
the Hawks.
Yeah.
Kevin Knox and a protected first. So don't overrate your own players.
Right, by themselves, not much, man. You're talking about a block. Well, you got to pack that in a blockbuster deal to sweeten the pot up. But then by themselves, it's not gonna be much. Parrish Duggar says Knicks were the first step slow starting the game. Absolutely. Blood of the Panda says Knicks fans want to trade Obi, but when Obi gives us 30 somewhere else, the tune will change. The answer is Burks, but y'all too emotional. Hashtag free Obi. TGI Fly says Thibs never reads the room. He preaches playing who gives you the best chance to win the game and never plays those players. And he hates Obi. Stephen Marcuccelli says, I keep Obi over Coach Thibs. Robert Sanders says, Cam is the future wing. Let the kids play. Ebb should lose minutes and have a quick hook till some team has interest in a trade. Keith Knighton says, right now this team is stuck at the 10th and 11th spot. What can they do to at least higher seeding in the play-in? To at least get higher seeding in the play-in. Got to play better, man. And got to play those players that give you the best chance to win, as my guy said. Got to play those players that give you the best chance to win. JD, what's the score of that Memphis-Chicago game, or how much time is left?
It's going into the fourth.
Ooh, okay.
92-69 Memphis.
Oh, man.
DeRozan has 4 assists. And he has 16 points, and I took him under 25.
That means he's not
25 and a half.
Yeah, but that means he's not going to play. And I was worried about the blowout factor because Chicago has been so bad without Levine and them, man.
I might have 2 4 out of 5 tickets. Thanks. Now all I need is Giannis to hit under 29.
So that means both Ja and DeRozan are not going to be playing because I'm short on the over for Ja at 24.5. He's got 16.
He has 16.
And I'm short on the 6 assists for DeRozan, 7 really, because he has 4, and he's not even going to play anymore in the game. Gotta worry about
Desmond Bain has 25 points.
I did get the Bain. I did get the Bain over 2.5 threes in the first half, but
3 of 6 from 3. New York Knicks invest in Quentin Grimes. He could be another Desmond Bain.
Crossover sends his $5 super chat. Number 1 show for the fans, by the fans. Much love. Thank you, Crossover. Salute to Sean. He says RJ and or Grimes should have guarded Bridges in the first quarter. Randall was getting cooked. Well, see, that's the problem. You know, a guy like a Bridges, who's more of a 3-4 hybrid, if you want to say that. We don't have that guy right now, and that's what I'm hoping. You're hoping maybe Reddish can help in that area. I'm not saying he's going to be a savior, but maybe he can help because that is the type of wing where defensively we just didn't have that depth. We don't have that depth, and so it's been hurting us. And shout out to Bridges, 38 points. He killed us all year. Killed us both games. And that's just what it is, man. Remember to go to manscaped.com, promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. Get that new Block Nest Monster tee in the KnicksFanTV store. The link is in the video description. And also go to prizepicks.com, enter promo code KFTV for a 100% match on your deposit of up to $100. And last but not least, remember the show is available in audio podcast format. All the major podcast platforms. Go to KnicksFanTV.com for the link to tonight's show. Shout out to the replay gang, and we'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Knicks versus Timberwolves will be in the building. Me, myself, JD, Alex Chitaros, a gang of Knicks fans, and so it's going to be great. Obviously, we always take you guys behind the scenes at the world's most famous arena, and tomorrow is going to be another blockbuster. So, JD, great show, man. See you tomorrow, and see you guys tomorrow, man. Peace.